Hello, and welcome to another episode of Turning Sparkly Cardboard Sideways. My name's Jimmy. Bancroft is behind the camera. And right here will be my personal phone number, 859-279-2405. If you have any questions, concerns, critiques on any deck profile or battles we post, please feel free to send me a message. Or if you just want to say hi or share some of your deck tech, deck list ideas, please send me a message and I'll try to reply as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack and Production. Today, I, Bancroft, will be going over the deck that we've all been waiting for. Garlic Jr. Alright, so real quick, I've heard a lot of people kind of talk about this leader, how it's pretty much structured to this set, and that's it really. But it was phenomenal. I played this over our past locals, and I absolutely loved it. So before we get into profile, like always, if you enjoy our content, hit that like, subscribe button, hit that bell to let you know when we drop more content, which is practically daily now. And that's it. Let's get into this deck, because this deck actually was awesome. And for this profile, I'm actually going to take a page from our buddy Jake, and the way he does his profiles. I just think it's really good to kind of block everything up and kind of show a lot of things at one time and kind of go over the importance of each individual one of them. So we'll kind of test that today and see how it goes for us. But, Garlic Jr., Overlord. If you're not familiar with Overlord, once per turn, place one of your battle cards with the Servant skill at the bottom of your deck to draw one card, which is pretty nice. Now, auto, when this card attacks, draw one card. So potentially 2 draws per turn so far. Pretty nice. Alright. When your life is 4 or less, or if you have a yellow Unison card with a specific cost of 3 in play, you may draw one card, switch up to one of your energies to active mode, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life. And then you flip this card over. So a nice little hybrid, and kind of going off the idea of like a lot of the set 10 leaders where it's more than one way to awaken now, which is pretty nice. I'm saying that a lot today. Alright, so once awakened, Garlic Jr. Retains the Overlord ability, which is pretty cool. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one card. Second auto, which I absolutely love. When one of your opponent's cards attacks, you may choose one yellow Demon Clan card with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand. Play in rest mode. If you do, negate this skill for turn. We're going to go back to that later, because there's a card that I don't think a lot of people think about that you can use a skill with, which is pretty sweet. Alright, leader aside. We're going to go into our Unison block, and because we need a Pacific energy cost of 3, we have 3 of the babies, but I also chose to go with 2 of the Gogeta. Alright, baby itself is a blocker, and has a permanent. If you have 2 or more yellow battle cards in rest mode, this card and your leader card gains 5,000 power, which is pretty defensive, and it works out great for keeping the leader alive a little bit better, and makes your opponent have to waste a card just to combo with basic cards from here on out. +1, active man. At the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. So that way you can freely swing with this card and then just have to restand it later. -2, if your leader card is yellow, choose up to one of your mono yellow battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, switch it to active mode. So you can swing again with it. That's pretty cool. Alright, Gogeta. The reason why I chose to go Gogeta, because Gogeta has a similar effect to Baby. If all your energy is in rest mode, if all your energy is in rest mode, your mono yellow leader gets plus 5,000 power during your opponent's turn. So, yes, ideally with Baby, you can swing twice and then get that plus 5,000. That way your leader is 20,000. But that also doesn't state during what turn. So during your opponent's turn, your leader still gets plus 5,000 power. And then during your opponent's turn here, if all your energy is in rest mode, another 5,000 power there. So regardless, if you work it out correctly, every time it's your opponent's turn, at one point, your leader should be 20,000. So, but Gogeta also has the ability to add extra markers to this card if your opponent plays extra cards. That's what returns it's here during your turn or your opponent's turn. +1, you may choose 2 yellow cards in your hand, discard them. If you do, draw 2 cards. -4, during your opponent's next charge phase, your opponent can only switch up to 2 energy to active mode. So, ideally, Baby's the one you want to play, but if you have no other choice, Gogeta's not a bad second, in my opinion. So, Baby has the -2 effect, which goes into our next block, which is just Garlic Jr. So we play 4 of the 3 drops, and 3 of the 5 drops. So, The 3-drop has Deflect and Indestructible, so your opponent cannot target it, so it gets played and it stays out, which is nice. Overlord, auto. If your leader card is yellow, Demon Clan, when this card is played, activate this skill. During your opponent's next turn, your leader cards and Unison cards don't take damage from attack cards. Take damage from attacks of cards that have double strike or triple strike. So you're playing a very aggressive deck that likes to do double strikes. Boom, cool. No negate. Okay, it's not gonna hurt me. And then for 1 energy, you evolve it on top. Evolve the 5-drop on top of the 3-drop, which unique. So we have 1 on the board. Is also indestructible as well with crit. That's why the -2 comes in handy, because the 30k crit, that's pretty beastly. Alright. Still has Overlord. Activate main. Once per turn, if your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, look at the bottom card of your deck. If it's yellow Demon Clan with an energy cost of 2 or less, you may play it. Otherwise, return it to the bottom of your deck. That helps us helps us cycle our Overlord and Servant cards pretty nicely. So, that's the Garlic Jr. Next, we're going to go back to the good old Pokemon days with the Elite Four. And there you are. Alright. So starting off the Elite Four, I chose to go with the Super Combo one instead of going with the Krillin. I chose Super Combo mainly because there's ways of searching this card out and getting it to the field or into my hand, where the Krillin isn't Demon Clan, so I could not search for that card. That's why I stuck with this one. Vinegar. When this card is played, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Play up to 1 yellow Demon Clan card with energy cost of 2 or less among them, other than copies of this card, then shuffle your deck. For 1 yellow, if your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, when you activate Overlord skill, play this card from your hand, and you can't play copies of this card for turn. So, instead of paying for 2 energy, you pay 1 energy for this card, which is pretty nice. Tardo. When this card is played, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's turn, which is pretty nice. It's a good way of keeping your opponent's cards locked down. And it has the same auto for 1 yellow energy. If you're a leader, if you use Overlord, you can play this card from your hand. Alright, the next one is kind of a very key one. Just go with 4 of this one. Gashu. Activate main. If your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, and you discard this card from your hand, you can add up to 1 Makio. Hey, Macarena. Makio Star?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. From your deck to your hand, which is pretty nice. Then shuffle your deck afterwards. Has the same effect, auto, where you 1 yellow energy, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't matter, because you want to get this card on the field. And I played 3. This is very similar to the Hatchiak Bibbidi conversation I had some before. I chose to go with 3 of the extra card because I want to see the battle card. And hang on, let me rephrase that. Having more of the battle cards gives me a better chance of thinning my deck out with the extra card. So I don't want to do a 4-3. I'd rather do a 4 on the extra card. I'd rather do 4 on the battle card. So if I see it, I can use its effect to thin my deck out to play this one. There we go. Alright. Auto. When you activate this card, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 yellow Demon Clan card among them to your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Auto, if your leader card is yellow Demon Clan, at the end of your turn, choose up to 1 of your yellow Demon Clan cards with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand, play it with its skills and get it for turn. That allows this deck to go wide. Alright. So let's go into the next segment of cards. Or pretty much the Demon Clan cards that are not part of the Pokemon franchise. So I start with Piccolo. He's the only Demon Clan card outside the Elite Four that does not have Servant. And the reason why I chose to play 2 of these cards because I only had 2 of them, because even though you buy a case, super rare draw pulls suck sometimes. So, but if I had a 3rd one, I would actually play this as a 3-up, which we do now. But you could play this card using its counterplay. If your leader card is mono yellow, play this card. Then the card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less. It's played with skills and get it for turn. That's pretty cool. But permanent. During your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So when I was showing this to Jimmy had actually asked me, do I like this card? I'm like, it's not a bad card, but it could be free played. He's like, what? The leader. Like I said earlier, once per turn. When one of your opponent's cards attacks, you may choose one yellow card with energy cost of Demon Clan with an energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it in rest mode. So you can play that in rest mode without using any energy. That way, on your next turn, you have another battle card ready to deal with, or that your opponent has to deal with. And so using the extra card, that's one free card, then that's another free card. So it's pretty awesome. Speaking of the energy card, the ones I like to play with this one, ideally, is the Yamcha. So, Servant Blocker. You all know what blocker is. My opponent swings, I can activate blocker so they can take the attack instead. Servant. This card gains 10,000 power and can't be switched to active mode during your charge phase. So, even though its skills are negated to my turn, it's now my opponent's turn, its skills resume. It's a 20k blocker that I played for free. The next target, I typically like to play with other cards, either using, was it Vinegar, I think I said earlier? Vinegar. Play up to one yellow Demon Clan, energy cost 2 or less among them. Play in rest mode, yeah. So, I do not like playing this card with the Star. I don't really like playing this card with the Leader either, mainly because it's in rest mode at that point. But you know what, if I have to do it, that's fine. But Auto, when the Leader is Demon Clan, yellow, when this card is played, draw one card, and you can't activate autos of this copies of this card for the rest of the turn. So, sure. But if you play Mega Star, you lose that skill because it's negated. That's why I prefer to play. Actually, I think Vinegar. Actually, if I reread, I think it plays in rest mode too. Yeah. 2 or less other than copy this card in rest mode. So it doesn't really matter how you play it. So yeah, you know what? Fine. Vinegar or the Leader, play it that way, get a free draw, and then on your next turn, use Overlord and play it that way. So, Trooper, I may end up knocking this down to 2 and making Piccolo 3. The next target, or next Demon Clan, is Bulma. Activate main was returned yellow. Well, for 1 yellow energy, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, and up to 1 Unison card with specific cost of 3, or up to 1 Demon Clan card with energy cost of 3 or less among them, and add it to your hand. So this helps me search my deck out for more Demon Clans, which practically is everything in this deck, for the exception of the next block of cards, which is what I call my protector cards. So, we have a Unison on the board, so you know we gotta be playing the Prideful Transformation. It's a free counterplay that has blocker, and it taps the card being played. So, Prideful Transformation. Also, you can't activate counterplays skills for the rest of the turn, so you gotta time it right when you play this one. That's why I prefer to play the Piccolo with the Leader ability, and then play Prideful Transformation, because you're not using the counterplay of Piccolo to play it. Alright. If you're, but the card being played is played in rest mode, then play this card. Permanent, if your Leader card is Yellow Unison with 2 or more markers, you can play this for free, which is pretty nice. And then in your opponent's next attack, you just block it. Sweet. Release from Evil. This came in clutch. I wouldn't say clutch, but it definitely slowed one of my games that I played on Saturday. Counterattack. If your Leader card is mono yellow, choose the attacking card. So it can be battle card, Unison, or Leader card. Ignoring barrier, negate its skills for turn, and it can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. Permanent. If you have a yellow Unison card in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. There you go. Also, this is also part of what I call the Topo package. If you've ever seen one of Fluff's Topo Lock decks, he plays 2 Release from Evils, and he plays 3 Vegeta Final Flash, which are phenomenal cards. Vegeta Final Flash. Activate Battle. If your Leader card is yellow, choose up to 1 of your Leader cards or battle cards, and it gets plus 15,000 power for duration of the battle. Auto. If all of your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills for the duration of turn, which is pretty sweet. Next, I go to my classic, Flying Nimbus. It's the OG of negates. Unfortunately, with Unison's being a thing now, it's lost a lot of its power, but negate the attack. Then you may place 1 yellow card in your hand in the drop area. If you do, your opponent can only attack 1 more time with battle cards. It's not bad. And last but not least, Energy Field. Energy Field is a phenomenal card, and truth be told, it can easily replace these Flying Nimbuses to be a 4 of this. The reason why I did a 2-2 split is because, depending on what I play against, I may not be able to guarantee the 4 cards for Energy Field. So, negate the attack if you can't, and you can't activate copies of this card for turn. If you have 4 or more mono yellow Demon Clan cards in play, your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn. Permanent. If you have 4 or more yellow Demon Clan cards in play, you can activate this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. So it's a free play negate. If you time it right, you should have plenty of battle cards on the board to be able to play it for free and be able to get the effect of your opponent can only attack 1 more time. And this card, because of that, and because of this way this deck runs, is, in my opinion, better than Dormant Potential Unleash, because Dormant Potential Unleash does not negate the initial attack. This does. So, but you have to have 4 battle cards on the field. Absolutely love this deck. Like I said, a lot of people were kind of giving it crap, almost. But after running it, this deck goes wide, and that's all you need sometimes. So,
it's very surprising.
And yeah, and actually, when I was looking over, I was putting Go Teams together right now, and I realized that the way this deck goes so wide, you could totally play Xenocell in this deck, and it would be just fine. So, that is Garlic Jr. today, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like always, like, subscribe. Like I said at the beginning, it's whatever. But if you haven't already checked out Fluff's video about his Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, it came out earlier today. And me and Fluff have a duel tomorrow, so check that out as well if you're interested in how these decks play against each other. That being said, like always, read your cards, know your plays, and Fluff out.